What's up, guys? Joel Valley from Media Glitch, and I'm here with the Media Glitch stream team. Not all of us, but I got Cagalicious over here, the Kag Man. And, of course, the Radicalist Reggie of all Reggies right here. I can't do it. My finger just doesn't want. Screw it. I'm done. And everything's backwards because we're going through Discord. And we're streaming. It's Friday night. We usually stream Saturday nights over on Twitch, so go check that out. Or you can subscribe to our YouTube stream page as well. I'll put links to those in the description. But we were streaming, having fun with our audience, and someone informed us of the news that Resident Evil series was canceled by Netflix. Now, let me just open this up real quick, and then just so we can read. Netflix has opted not to order a second season of Resident Evil. Let's see if they actually tell us why, and then we're going to get into this. But it says loosely based on the video game franchise. Let me see. Running partially. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it came out during Stranger Things, right? Or during the hype of that. So that's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. It debated number 2 with an okay 72.7 million hours viewed. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But it did not deliver big week 2, right? Week 2 comes out and the hours go down. Why? Because all you bastards bash it on the internet. Oh, bastard! I don't know. I honestly don't know why. I imagine there were so many horrible reviews of this thing. And so let's get into X hated it. X is a member of our Media Glitch team, right? Mm-hmm. And he hated it.
Yeah, he said it wasn't goth enough or something.
It wasn't goth enough for him.
Yeah. Was week 2 Stranger Things week though?
I don't know.
See, that could have been as to why week 2 got bumped, because to release something like that, Resident Evil, right, a series where it's kind of fresh, this like a reimagining somewhat with Stranger Things, the last season of that, I mean, that would really affect it for sure.
Things was only 2 episodes though, so I figured like they probably felt it was safe to release that series around that time because it was that series. I don't know, man. It was a part of that first season, so only 2 extra episodes, but still, I felt like the series. I just want to kind of go into it a little bit here.
For sure.
I felt Netflix gave enough time to let people know when it was coming out, let people get pumped up, and the series came out, and I thought some moments were corny. Like I didn't really like one of the characters that much, but it started to grow on me. It really did. I saw the potential the series had, and I really felt like it was season 2 would have been phenomenal if they let it get there. But I don't know what's up with Netflix. If they kind of bended the knee to the people who were bashing it, but it's unfortunate, man. I mean, I know I'm in the minority of people who like the series, but still, man. Sometimes stuff, you got to give it a chance, man, for it to bloom a little bit. And I don't think they let Resident Evil have that. They just wanted to bash it because it wasn't exactly like what they wanted their Resident Evil to be. Now, Resident Evil's been out over 20 years, and it's time for something a little bit fresh. So they tried something different. I liked it. Some people couldn't get over the fact that Wesker was black. I thought it was cool because Lance Reddick is a good actor. I love him playing Wesker in the series. But the new characters, and Kag, I guess, we were talking about this a little bit. Maybe the people who watched the series didn't have anybody to relate to, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think girls. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that people couldn't relate to it. And also, now I enjoyed it. I didn't have a problem with it. I am in the stance of I'm okay with it not getting a season 2.
Good riddance.
But I did enjoy season 1.
You're against us, Kag. I'm sorry.
I'm not against you guys. I did enjoy season 1. I had no problems with it. But I'm not going to cry about not being a season 2 like that. I mean, I think season 1 was cool, but not going to cry about it. But what I will say, when it comes to Resident Evil, in the last 20 years or so, there's been so many different Resident Evils or so many depictions of Resident Evil that they're kind of all over the place. Would you agree, Reggie? Yeah. They've been like, they did the anime, they were over the place. They did this new movie. They switched some characters around. They were kind of all over the place. They're like, you know what they're like? They're like DC. They just are all over the place with this franchise. Right. They really got to dig in, set a tone, and build it out again. because this wasn't it. Although it was a great show, it wasn't going to build out the franchise that fans want. Because I would almost say that Resident Evil is kind of turning into like a cult classic with a subset of fans, not globally, but a set of fans that want a certain thing.
Okay, I understand. I totally get where you're coming from, but you got to understand, old fans are great, but they're trying to build new fans as well. And I think that's why they went with the younger audience, the two girls. They left enough in there for us old school fans to like it, which hence Wesker came in. I thought he was great. I even like Evelyn. I thought she was great too. Yeah. I mean, the dance part was a little bit crazy. It was funny, but I thought that's well acted though. I mean, a lot of other people couldn't do that. So I'm all over the place with my feelings about this, man. I'm upset. I really wanted this series to like kind of reach its potential, and unfortunately, it's not going to get there. Maybe we all could put a pension in or something. Maybe that'll help, or maybe somebody else will pick it up. What do you? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, for me, I was I'd heard the reviews, and I feel like anything that's Resident Evil that's put on film is always bashed, and and I feel like, and sometimes there's like all those movies that we got, none of them are anywhere close to Resident Evil, right?
Right.
Except for the one that came out recently, the movie. That was the closest thing that we got to a Resident Evil game, and then everyone had a million things to complain about. Mm-hmm. They had, Jill wasn't this, Leon's an idiot, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and everyone just had a million things instead of just going, okay, we got closer. We got closer to what a Resident Evil game is, I feel like. And with this, I still felt like they never crossed the line. Everything is legitimate. Like, everything fits within canon. Except for maybe the color of Wesker, or, you know what I mean? Like, but everything else, like, I feel like, unless I'm wrong, like, we saw Lisa, right? We saw
her briefly, and it was actually pretty cool.
It was the best Lisa I've ever seen. It was pretty awesome.
It was a good scene.
And then like, even they referenced like, hey, they're a clone of the original Wesker.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And and that original Wesker died in a volcano. And like, they talk about how Wesker dies, right?
Right.
Like, they stick to canon. So it's not like you can get mad about that. I'm really sad to see it go because I actually enjoyed the story. I thought the storytelling was really good. Yeah. I thought some of the twists they had in there, the writing was good. Like that first episode when Wesker flexes, bro, in that parent-teacher conference.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Such an amazing scene. How are you not like, okay, I'm down with this Wesker? Like, at that,
I don't want you fired. I want you blacklisted.
Moment. I think when I watched it, I showed you guys. I texted a picture to you guys. I'm like, okay, I'm all in. Like, and it's a sad.
I think a question I want to ask to you, Joel. And I love that scene because you did mention it as an absolutely amazing scene. He really went in on dude without having to kill him because he was like, yo, whatever. But outside of like Wesker, what was your other memorable moments? I don't think the show really left a lot of memorable moments with people to where they recall this and be like, oh my God, this was an epic part. This happened. This was epic. This was epic. This to warrant a season 2, honestly, because there was a lot of stuff that needs to happen for Netflix to greenlight another several $1 million when the fans didn't really say anything about it as far as it being memorable. Now, Wesker, obviously, that was a memorable point in the movie, and even the point where old girl was running, I thought was really good. She was on the top of the Jeep,
right?
And I thought that was memorable. That was a great scene with zombies getting impaled and stuff. But it wasn't a lot of memorable moments in the show, although good. I'm not against it. I liked the show. I was entertained.
I see some. Go ahead, tell Reggie. Maybe we have the same because I disagree as well.
I feel like it had some epic moments. I thought the scene where they were trying to escape from that jail with Baxter, and Baxter got his moment with the girl, and they were back to back taking care of this. That was awesome.
And they did that as a oneer. It's a one shot, dude. And this like chubby dude is just cleaning, mowing down zombies, and they do it in a one shot, and it's beautiful, man.
But see, you're looking at it as a director, Joel. Fans don't care about that.
Well, he's not a director, and he's talking about the same stuff.
Reggie wasn't going to say the one shot. He said he liked the scene. So the scene, although the scene was good, I'm not saying the scene was bad. But what I'm saying is, like, you got to think as a fan, a regular person. They're not looking for that. That's why so many people go to like Michael Bay movies, or people go to Disney Marvel movies. They want they just want that big explosion, action fighting, and that's all they really care about.
What about I'm not saying the crocodile?
I'm not saying anything about you guys or the movie was bad. I'm just speaking for other people, because we know that's what they want. We know that's what they want. And if you don't deliver that on a constant basis,
okay, so on a constant basis, it's different. But like, well, you have the big giant worm in the beginning, right? They got that huge crocodile. They got the spider. I feel like they had some really good moments in there.
And the liquor too.
I did too.
The liquor, the whole liquor showdown, the screamer, which is from World War Z, and like that was cool. Yeah. And how it rallied them up, you know. I liked all that stuff, dude. And there were some things that didn't make sense. Like so that one guy, I just call him the chubby guy, right? The guy who ends
Baxter?
up, you know, huh?
Baxter with the shotgun.
Baxter, right?
Yes, Baxter. Yeah, I remember my name.
So when you're introduced to Baxter, I'm like, oh my gosh,
corny.
Is this the bad guy? It's very corny, right?
It is. And he even trips when he's going down the stairs.
And then they kind of don't know his character well in the first couple episodes, because he's like, they're shooting people, and he's like, those are rubber bullets, right? And then like in the next scene, there's a guy bleeding out, and he goes, ouch, that seems like it hurts. And he starts laughing.
Dude, ouch.
So like there are things like that don't make any sense character-wise. But for the most part, like, I don't know, man. I was digging. I loved watching the transformation of the sister going into the zombie. I feel like we don't see that a lot, like inside the head and inside the mind of someone. You see it from the outside. You see it from other people's eyes, but you don't get to see from inside. And I thought they did really well with that. And I was, know, so I felt like it had a lot to offer, and they were just getting going. And story-wise, I was invested, man.
All right, I'll ask you guys this though, because some people might have been turned off by this. The whole series was taking place in the before and after, in the future. So like there was a past and there was a present, pretty much. Do you think that might have turned some people off because it kept going back and forth?
I hope not, because I loved it.
I loved it too, but for some people that might not have worked. I mean, because it can get kind of confusing, I would guess. But
when you're trying to bring in, I'm sorry, Reggie, go ahead.
It could just be confusing for some people, I'm guessing, because they want to kind of settle on one episode that just focuses on one thing. But when you're shifting back between the past and present, it gets kind of weird, a little bit like loopy, I guess. So maybe that turns some people off. I'm not really sure. I didn't really hear too many people complain about that. But maybe that's one of the things that kind of turned people off about the series. I thought it was great how it was done. They didn't really need to put like the option for when the past and present was showing, but still that might have turned some people off. Maybe, I don't know. See what you guys thought.
Maybe
about it.
I liked it because it kept the flow going well.
Okay.
And I felt like once I was like tired of seeing one character, I was back to another one, right?
Right.
And so because the future, what's her name? I forget.
We forgot her.
I forgot her name, but the girl
we forgot her names.
I'm really bad with names, to begin with. So, but like the future stuff, that stuff would drag sometimes, right?
Right.
But I loved going in the past.
Right.
And that was really, really fun. And you know what? And this is the first Resident Evil where they actually I know they put puzzles in the movies, but there's a whole episode where they're like figuring out the puzzle. And they put the
The fifth
piano song
episode,
in.
man. Yes, that was awesome. I thought that episode was great too.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, this is what Resident Evil looks like if you put it in like on the film with the puzzles and stuff. Because if you play Resident Evil 1, like everyone wants a shot for shot movie of Resident Evil 1, but man, dude, you're just backtracking and doing puzzles and stuff like that. You know, and so I think that's why they avoid that stuff. Yes, there's story elements and stuff. I get that, but they gave that to you. What's that?
Did you like Jade and Billy Wesker though?
I liked. Like I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it, but she does some dumb things. But like, I mean, it would have been fine. I didn't hate the characters. I would have followed this story for another season. Maybe even a season after that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's sad, and they even put green herbs in there, blue herbs in there. They put the grenade at the same style that you have in the game, which I've never thought looked like a grenade. Like it's interesting. I think it's more Resident Evil. Is it 5? Kind of like a grenade they use. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of sad to see it go. I thought the Wesker reveal was epic. I love that there's clones all over the place. That was cool stuff, man.
Do you think do you guys think people were way too harsh on the series though?
Oh yeah, way too harsh.
They
like. Here's the thing. The next day, I seen this TikTok. I saw a Twitter post. And it was Evelyn dancing to that crazy song. And then people are like, this is not my Resident Evil. And it had tons of views. And everyone's just dogging it. Hadn't even seen it. But they already wrote it off because of this tweet. And I was even like, holy smokes, what are they doing to Resident Evil? But when you watch the series, it fits within the plot. And it's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that scene. It fits right where it's supposed to because of what's going on. And they've established it story-wise why she's dancing. It's not like she's just doing it. No, the other sister is programming her and she's taunting her with an old song from back in the day. So it's like, I don't know, like it's justified, right? It's not like just random, like, hey, you know, let's, you know, see that, whatever, you know, so. But go ahead, Kag. I know you were going to say something.
I was going to go back to kind of what Reggie was talking about as far as going back and forth, you know, in the future and stuff like that. You know, I think personally what makes a show blossom into being a hit is bringing in people that have never seen the franchise. Mm-hmm. I think it was harder for people to grasp what was going on in this show that never knew anything about Resident Evil. You know, if you look at some of the shows that have been hits on Netflix, there were shows that no one ever seen before, and it was an awesome show, you know. So in that aspect, I think that hurt it because you got diehard fans that kind of knew what was going on, but you had new people coming in, which your show is going to thrive on by that new group of people coming in that didn't know what was going on. It has like, what the heck is this crap? Like, I don't have no idea what this is. They're talking about stuff I don't know what it is.
I can understand.
So that's on that point. And then secondly, to your point, Joel, where you were talking about like people wanting Resident Evil 1 and puzzles and stuff, they could do a Resident Evil 1 movie and make it well.
I agree.
If they use ideas like like the puzzles and stuff. You can make a Resident Evil 1 movie, and you can make it kind of, if you guys ever seen like the escape room movies,
right?
That's what your puzzle is. You have to do the puzzles or somebody dies or whatever to get on to where you have to go. So they could do it well. But lastly, I'll say that Resident Evil is all over the place, bro. Right. It's all over the place. Even the games at times are all over the place.
Yeah.
And you have to hunker down and build this franchise out again if you want fans to love what you're doing. You're going to get this response here on out. They do another show or do another anime, you're still going to get the same response. They need to build the franchise out again. That's my opinion. But I love the show. So, but we can't all agree in this debate, right? We got to give something for people to watch.
Look,
So
ultimately, I think what happened in Resident Evil is that bringing out the series all in one like it did might have killed it. If they were able to like maybe release an episode a week, I think it would have lasted. It would have did a lot
you might
better
be right.
for the fans. I think so, because each episode to me got better and better, and I think people would have actually like been more appreciative of it. But being able to sit and watch it all in one night and just like, yeah, I don't know. I think that kind of like helped this like pretty much the demise of the show, unfortunately. Yeah,
And I think that like a lot of people just stayed up because they wanted to make their review, and they watched it all, which I don't freaking recommend to do at all if you're gonna review, because you're tired, you're just wanting to do it, and then you know, and then a lot of the people, oh my gosh. So I went and I watched tons of reviews on this thing, and I'm like, these people don't even know Resident Evil at all. Like they don't even, and they're the ones that are getting in the big numbers too. And so I don't know. I was man, and I'll say this, you guys, I'm not gonna spoil it, but this series, there's a part that is the most brutal thing I've ever seen in a Resident Evil series. And what Evelyn does, you remember what she does?
Yeah.
At the end, kind of, or it's not towards the end, but
it shows you how Evelyn
she's hardcore, dude.
Yeah, she's hardcore.
When she did that, I was like, dude, like I don't, like I was just
no
like,
hesitation, like maybe
dude,
slight
it
hesitation,
was
but no.
so brutal. And I was just like, holy smokes, man. I said, I'm in. So it's sad to me that I'm out. That we have no choice. We're out now,
So have we found out the cost to make this show? Does anybody have that information?
I think
I'm trying to look it up. I just
it's probably on this thing here. Let me see. So yeah, I don't see budget on here.
Yeah, because like when looking at, depending on what they brought in for that, season 2 obviously is going to be bigger and cost you more.
Right.
So, I mean, it could have just come straight down to budget. We may be looking at it in a totally different way. We may think that it came down to what the fans had to say. It may not have been. It could have just came because Netflix has canceled a lot of great shows. A lot. That's their history.
Archive 81 or whatever it's called, or that was a good one.
But here's the thing, Kag. Had people given it a chance. Because we live in a sheep nation where if your favorite reviewer doesn't like it, all of a sudden you don't like it, right? And so they just follow it, and then they even say negative things. And I know they didn't watch the series. I've seen some comments, and I was like, you didn't even watch it. You're just following everything. Now, had the reviews been a little bit better, that second week might have been better. And Netflix like, okay, it did great 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know what the standard is. You know what I mean? Right. I know it as far as in theaters. I know what the standard is there because that's more my area. But like what's Netflix numbers and what they do, it depends,
Yeah, I know that Netflix, for whatever reason, dude, they cancel a lot of stuff, man. So I'm interested to once try to find out, what it made. And then, so was the 72 million people or 72 million views, was that just US numbers or was that global numbers?
No idea. But
because I mean, if it's 72 million in the US, that's huge, right? We're only 380 million people. So that's huge. That's huge numbers just for the US. If that's global, then I can kind of understand that being a little underwhelming.
It just says hours viewed, so
hours viewed. Okay, so that's not.
But even this article says that's pretty good. Week 2, It was number 3. Wait, still, it's in your top 10 on week 2. And honestly, in theatrical run, you have 2 weeks to prove yourself, or you're out. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, And Netflix is a half hour from my house, man. So like, and I know a lot of people there. I could probably figure it out, but like, Either way, I'm sad because it's like I just wanted to see what the story of those sisters. I was really invested in it, you know, and to see what happens and stuff. So it's kind of a bummer, but you know, hey, that's it. I think we talked about it. Let us know in the comment section. I already know because every time I went to a YouTube video and I said, oh, I like this show, I had like 40 people tell me how bad it was. But they didn't tell me why. Like Reggie said. They didn't tell me why.
They'll say, oh, it was trash, it was garbage, and that's it.
I did hear some things like, oh, it wasn't scary. And I'm like, when has Resident Evil ever been scary? Tell me one Resident Evil movie where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't watch this. Get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't nothing on film of Resident Evil that's scary. If that's your complaint, like, I'm sorry, like, it's just, and no, it's a valid complaint. I'm not going to say it's not a valid complaint because Resident Evil should be scary. I agree, but it's like, okay, what about all the other ones, right? Like, we have to. I don't know. I think we have to judge them all. Then, anyway. I'm just reading the chat now. Chat's been going good. Like I've been reading them all. Just so you guys know. I think most of them. I mean, but that's it for us, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one when Resident Evil Season 2 comes out on Hulu. It'll be
maybe they'll pick up
Resident Hulu, like Hellraiser Hulu. Resident Hulu.
Maybe they'll add the sisters into the next Resident Evil game, and then that's how they, you know, pick up with that. There ain't gonna be another show. Maybe Hulu though, for sure.
Shut the hell up, Kag.
It could be an 8-minute. It could be an 8-minute series, 8-minute shows on Hulu. Peace out, everybody.
All right,
I appreciate
guys.
you.
See ya.
I'm sorry. I don't want you fired. I want you blacklisted. I want it so that no tech company ever hires you. Not Apple, not Google. I want Pornhub to shred your resume. Now, if I say that, what do you think they're going to do, Dave? Dave.